Hey girly, it's me, Lama Sue. Do you wish to live fergaliciously?
Start your sublight engines. It's time for RuPaul's Pod Race, a queer Star Wars podcast, and welcome back to another week of chaos.
That was Noah. His pronouns are he, him. His @ on TikTok is the Jewish Jedi, and his gender this week is Force Ghost, because he is not here. So you'll be getting the four of us this week. My name is Ollie. My pronouns are they, them. My social media is @OllieFresh on basically all platforms. And my gender this week is WLW, which stands for Wrecker Loving Wrecker.
It's what Noah would want.
It's what Noah would want. I'm doing it in honor of him because he is not with us today.
That's so kind of you.
I do my best for my community.
I'm Jess. My pronouns are they, them. You can find me on most social media at Kawaii Jessio. And my gender this week is Chad Bane, honorable duelist.
I hate the idea of Chad Cad Bane versus Virgin someone else. So, like, I just don't know who the Virgin to Cad Bane's Chad is.
Virgin Hunter.
Virgin Hunter versus Chad Cad Bane.
Spoiler alert.
Hunter pulled first, but didn't shoot first.
He just missed.
He missed because Cad Bane shot him.
Maybe
Epic.
I should have rewatched the episode.
Yeah, I did forget to rewatch the episode before fucking doing this, so we're bringing a certain energy to this episode today. Hello, my name is Mel. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me on TikTok at GrunkleRex. And my gender this week, much like, You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, Happy Pride, Cad Bane.
I'm Klaudia. My pronouns are she, her. You can find me on social media at Klaudia says with a K, Kaludia says, on all the social media platforms. My gender of the week, because I have been reading the Leia comic, is Evan Verlaine stealing Luke's Chanel boots. All of her outfits are Luke's outfits. Maybe he modeled himself after her. I think maybe he saw a fashionable Alderaanian rebel pilot and he was like, I'm going to steal that lesbian style. Yeah, she wears like the yellow jacket thing.
She stole his look and during Pride Month?
Yeah, no, he stole her look. He stole her look, I think, because it's like, I think it's just like, and then she wears like the all black, like with the Chanel boots and everything. And I'm like, wait. He stole her look because it happens like right after the destruction of Alderaan or whatever, so Luke is there or whatever. I'm like, I think he got his ideas from a very fashionable Alderaanian lesbian. Anyway, that's my gender this week. She's very powerful. Also, very homosexual activity going on between her and Leia.
Furthering the theory that Han Solo has bi-wife energy.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Between Evan Verlaine and Amilyn Holdo, please. Alright, Let's talk about this episode because there's a lot to get into.
So the first thing, we start off with Wrecker teaching Omega how to disarm a bomb, which is absolutely something that your uncle would do. And, like, you're not allowed to do, your dad wouldn't let you do this, your mom wouldn't let you do this. But you go to your uncle's house and he's like, hey kid, you want to learn how to disarm a bomb? And you're like, but my mom wouldn't let me do that. And they're like, well, is she here?
It was making me really happy, but then they had her little moment with Tech where he was like, oh yeah, go off with Tech, whatever, and I was like, oh, so domestic. And then like Tech was teaching her things, whatever, and then I was like, oh no, they're all teaching her things so she can survive on her own.
I have two thoughts about that. One is that I do love that this furthers my theory of Wrecker actually being quite intelligent, because we saw in the Bad Batch arc in the Clone Wars that Wrecker was a demolitions expert. He was set up to be that. And now we actually see him having a smart moment, and I love. All of them teaching Omega stuff is definitely stressing me out, because, so I have a theory, and Mel and I were talking about this, and we sort of developed this together. The idea that because Cad Bane now has Omega, I fully believe that there is going to be an episode of Omega setting little traps in Cad Bane's ship, and Mel said just like Kevin McAllister in Home Alone. And the idea of Omega using the skills that she has learned from the Bad Batch to basically prank Cad Bane into letting her go is very powerful.
Just the concept of Cad Bane as Joe Pesci makes me feel
It's
good.
Phenomenal.
It
makes me feel good.
He's Joe Pesci, and his little droid is the other guy whose name escapes me.
I can't with that.
I mean, the other part of it, though, was that, like, this episode, and I believe the one right before it, were, like, very, very dark, and I feel like that would be a very, like, kid kind of episode that I think maybe they would throw in there. It would have some plot implications, but I think that would, and it would be both character development and filler kind of thing. It would remind me of, in the Clone Wars arc, when they go get their lightsabers on Ilum and they get captured by the pirates and whatever, like, and all the kids have to, like, it would be like that. And I hope that's what they do.
Absolutely. I also just realized now, I was thinking about it. We have an episode this week, and then we go into Disney Plus for their PR dropped all the episode titles for July. And the first episode of July is called Common Ground. So I do think that is an episode where they could be reunited. And so there's just like this little, not necessarily a filler episode. I think that this could be a time that maybe like we get some Bad Batch trying to figure out where the fuck Omega is, and Omega like fully embracing her inner Kevin McAllister.
I'm also now thinking about the idea of Cad Bane, who freed a prisoner from the Senate prison. He held the entire Senate hostage, beat Obi-Wan Kenobi and Quinlan Vos in a fight, gets taken out by an 11-year-old pulling pranks on him.
Feminism. It's feminism.
All
It's
it
just
takes-
like Fennec Shan beating the shit out of the entire Bad Batch. It's like, oh, we're the most
Yes!
elite squad, and one woman got us. He's the
Girl
most
boss moment.
It's a girl boss moment.
No,
Like,
Claudia, you're actually so right, because you had that theory a couple episodes ago that was like the reason that they made a female clone was because they realized that like all it took was one woman to beat an entire group of elite soldiers. And that's okay. I was like, oh, that's a funny theory, but now I'm like, oh, that's actually true.
yeah, maybe they. You know what? Feminism. Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss.
Another thing I've been thinking a lot about in terms of Cad Bane and his kind of role in this show, and then also, like, I just want to see Fennec Shand very badly again. I'd like to see my wife. I do think that the idea of the Batch teaming up with Fennec to be like, all right, let's get Omega back. And I think that Omega would have good reason to, like, want to get Omega back for her own purposes, so, you know, enemy of my enemy is my friend type situation. I'm just saying, they had that unfinished animatic of fucking Boba vibe checking Cad Bane. Fennec Shand vibe checking Cad Bane as canon? Thoughts?
And if you guys don't know what that is, there is an unfinished scene from, I believe it was season 7 of the Clone Wars, where Boba Fett kills Cad Bane.
And they took. I believe they probably used that. Like, they took an actual scene from that. That's the standoff between Cad Bane and Hunter. It's Cad Bane and Boba in that unfinished thing. Like, I recognized it immediately when I saw it. I was like, oh, they repurposed this. I see.
Hunter, who pulled first, shot second, like, is specifically engineered to be a good soldier. And Boba's like, yeah, but I'm built different.
Well,
Boba built different Fett, I think, that's what Book of Boba Fett's gonna be about.
well, the other thing is that Hunter, he's not force sensitive, but he's basically force sensitive, and Cad Bane is known for, like, beating force sensitives all the time, and that's his thing. But I have to say, we just said Fennec Shand teaming up with the Batch to get Omega, because she's also been sent to get them. You just mentioned the episode titles, and the one, not next week's, but the week after, is called Common Ground. What if at first when I saw it, I was like, Common Ground, Onderon, Saw Gerrera, but then I was like, Common Ground, what if it's Common Ground with Fennec Shand? I don't know how that would work, because she's trying to, like, get her for...
They'll cross that bridge when they get there.
I have the actual, really quick, I think, so... the Kaminoans hired bounty hunters to get Omega, right? They hired Fennec. So Nala Se hired Fennec to bring Omega in alive. And then Lama Sue's bitch ass hired Cad Bane and said, we don't need her alive, we just need her intact. Which, first of all, is literally exactly what happened in episode 1 and 2 of The Mandalorian, when Din was the one who was sent to go bring Grogu in alive, but all of the other bounty hunters showed up ready to kill him. So, epic one story, Dave. But I do think that Fennec, when she finds out that they hired another bounty hunter to go after her bounty, she is going to be upset with Cad Bane, and she is also going to be like, hey, Kaminoans, why would you do that? Or Nala Se gets in contact with Fennec and is like, hey, I need you to save that kid because they are going to hurt her, so you need to get her out of here, because Nala Se clearly wants Omega alive.
Yeah, maybe that's the common ground, is like, where she's like, they want them alive, and they're like, okay, and like,
Nala Se, my enemy turned friend. I won't forgive you for what you did to Fives, but if you save Omega, then we can talk.
I do think that Nala Se cares about Omega, seeing that she let Omega go off with the batch, like, alive, when she could have, like, kept Omega there on Kamino. She thought it was safer for her to go off with the batch.
We're talking about the fun things, whatever. Overall, this was an incredibly dark episode. Like,
it was dense too, because
very dense.
It really went from, like, fun Wrecker moment with Omega to aim for the child.
We're desensitized to it because we're adults, and also because, like, I've just recently rewatched the Clone Wars and blah, blah, blah. And then I realized, like, oh, if I was a child watching this would be absolutely terrifying. And at this point, I'm like, is this still aimed at children? I don't know. Because this has been 2 episodes where they have pointed machine guns at children. And again, I had the thought of, cool, so we're okay with, in an animated television show for kids, not only pointing a gun at a child and hunting them down, but then having many soldiers point rifles at a child and say, aim for the child. That's cool and that's okay, but gay people, still not okay. Cool, got it, awesome. I think about that every episode as it gets darker and darker. And as they get more explicitly dark with it, I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, this is the 2nd episode in a row also where I thought a character's just gonna straight up die. And straight up die in a horrific manner, which the Clone Wars has always done, but, like, this is, like, one thing after another.
Not only was this episode dark in terms of, like, actual material things happening in the story, it was also just fucking dark. Like, visually, this was a lot to handle. Watching it in the dark helped, but, like,
yeah,
very Game of Thrones of you. Bad Batch.
I think it was almost like cinematic in the sense of, like, in the beginning where it was the lighthearted stuff, it was the day, and then as stuff got progressively worse for everyone, the day progressed. So by the time all of the really intense stuff was happening, it was like night. Which, honestly, now I'm thinking about it, was probably a deliberate choice, because also, in case you guys didn't notice, Crosshair got pretty messed up, so it would also be an excuse for them to not have to graphically show Crosshair getting his face burned off.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's, like, an intentional thing, but I mean, I'm sure it getting darker is intentional, but I'm not sure if it was, like, specifically so they wouldn't have to show how gruesome Crosshair's face injuries were, but it's just to consider. I think it was cool.
Yeah, I'm wondering the implications of that, because his whole thing is, you know, he's a sharpshooter in his eyes and whatever, and we see him, and he looks like the glass bones and paper skin SpongeBob guy by the end, and he has one eye covered, whatever. Like, was that his shooting eye? Like, what implications is that gonna have? Is that going to be like the nail in the clone coffin, where they're like, oh wow, clearly we need to just move over to enlisted people because the clones are clearly, they could be taken out quite easily. You know, is that the nail in the Crosshair coffin? You know, obviously we got a little bit of a Vader parallel there too, so.
Actually, you just made me think of that, is the fact that something that I noticed while I was watching the episode is that in Cut and Run, which was episode 2, they were shooting exclusively stun charges at the regs, at the other clones, In this episode, they said, we got to get out and we are going to shoot live rounds at them. So, like, a lot of clones died in this episode. So you just said that, and it triggered something in my mind, and I'm like, what if something like this is when they're like, yeah, it seems like all of the clones died and all of the enlisted soldiers survived, so maybe we should switch. Ooh, I don't like where that's going.
Also, the fact with the clones in this episode that they were only referring to them as their CT numbers instead of, like, nicknames, that really hurt me a lot.
Well, and it was both the clones and the enlisted people, like, but also the people in the worst batch, the future Death Troopers. They were all doing it. Epic, it's poetry. It's like poetry it rhymes moment because that connects so well to, like, the First Order and Finn and FN 2187 later. Like, we just love, like, a full circle moment of, like, the clones, and then they lose their personality, and then I want Finn to learn about how the clones made themselves individuals.
Just a real quick aside, I do think we need a Finn show about him training to be a Jedi where they freaking unfreeze Kix and get to meet him, and him being like, I'm a clone who had a number, and Finn's like, wait, I also had a number, but I gave that up, and Kix is like, oh, sick, I'm gonna do that.
I think that there is also, like, something to say about, like, the depersonalization of the clones, and then specifically of Crosshair, because Crosshair's whole thing is, like, I'm not like other girls, like, fuck the regs, I'm Crosshair. And for him to, like, interesting, I didn't consider this. What side of his face got fucked up? Was it the tattoo side or was it the other side?
It was the other side.
Okay.
His tattoo is still intact.
Okay, interesting. Because, like, yeah, once again, like, Klaudia was kind of saying, like, Star Wars loves a good fucking Vader allegory, but also, in general, Project War Mantle is something that is being discussed a lot with this.
Since we're talking about it, can you bring out the full list of the episodes that are coming out?
Yeah.
So we can discuss.
Would you like to see the list? I've got it.
Mel has prepared a list for you.
Welcome to my Thrawn era. I don't want to fuck him. I just want to be him. Anyway.
Yeah, you want to fuck our Alani, so.
Yeah, period.
The fact that there's no context for that.
Yeah, no context.
Mel's just like,
vibes.
I just don't. Just in case you guys were curious.
I don't want to fuck that man. Anyways. On July 2nd, Common Ground, or is it July? Yeah. July 2nd, Common Ground is coming out. July 9th, Devil's Deal. 16th, Rescue on Ryloth. 23rd, Infested. 30th, War Mantle. And then there's going to be 2 episodes in August.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I hate that the last 2 episodes are the ones we don't know. But now that I'm thinking about it, okay. For War Mantle, she said that's like Rampart's program, right? Is bringing in the the enlisted people.
Yeah.
What if War Mantle at that point is when Crosshair's transition from elite clone to Death Trooper is when that is completed?
See, that was another thing that I've been thinking a lot about. I made a TikTok about it, and, like, it's been occupying a lot of my thoughts today of Crosshair being kind of this, like, not symbolism, because what's happening to him is not symbolism, it is quite literally happening to him, but he's going from clone trooper to dark trooper, not just a death trooper, to dark trooper. Dark trooper are like what those robots are in the Mandalorian season 2 finale, where I think it was Gideon who said, like, the last thing that we had to take out of them to make them the most efficient was the human. So that is
because he's becoming a cyborg.
He's slowly being depersonalized and just becoming a machine.
Epic ableism in fantasy moment.
I do want to point out that, because Tim pointed this out to me, that they aren't Death Troopers, they're Elite Squad Troopers.
Yes.
Which I don't know if there's a difference. I don't fucking know anything
maybe
about
Death Troopers don't exist
Stormtroopers.
Yeah, the Elite Troopers I think are like special, like they're like special squads or like specialized groups. Death Troopers are their own thing, and Dark Troopers are their own thing. Death Troopers are like very messed up. In the Thrawn books, they do talk about Death Troopers, and they're basically modified people.
Well, that's why I'm saying
insane,
that
which kind of reminds me of Crosshair, but But what Mel was saying makes a lot of sense, because the idea of them already seeing the clones, like outside observers and like the high-ranking individuals in the Empire see the clones as not people already, it would make sense that they see someone like Crosshair who has incredible skill but is already a number to them, being like, well, why don't we just literally make him do whatever we want because we can? So it does make sense for him to be the prototype for the Dark Trooper of, you know, not having any human aspects, because even the Death Troopers, which are akin to very on that regular trooper to Dark Trooper pipeline, are very close to the Dark Trooper. They still have agency, and they still kind of can do their own thing.
And I think another distinction to make with the Dark Troopers with the Death Troopers and the Dark Troopers. Sorry. Once again, Star Wars, get better fucking names. Like, Jesus, there are so many that are just the same thing. With the Death Troopers that we see in Treason, they volunteered for that. They said, yep, I want to get fucked up. Fuck me up, Empire. Hit me with that bad juice. But for Crosshair, it's just because he's chipped. He didn't have agency over that. He was just like, I'm a shithead, but you made me 10 times worse, besties.
This means that Crosshair's story is now the opposite of Echo's stories. Now they are going in opposite directions.
Epic foils moment. I
hate that, but you're absolutely right.
Speaking of Echo, actually, Echo did have a shining moment in the very beginning. I made a note during the episode that said maybe Echo should be the leader because he seems to handle stress better than Hunter sometimes. I will always bring up the chance to talk about Echo being a master strategist, but I do think that something to talk about was in the beginning, he was like, hey, why didn't we go with Rex? Like, we wouldn't be in debt to Sid right now if we went with Rex. And Hunter's like, yeah, we kind of got our own thing going on. And Echo's like, what thing? Being in debt? And then later
they would still be in debt.
Well, yeah, but they'd be with Rex, and Rex can handle it.
It did give me a little bit of fear of like, oh, is the batch going to split up at any point? Because, well, I think right now, again, Hunter is on his gap year. They all are on their gap year. They're trying to like figure out their lives. And he's just like, yeah, I'm just trying to survive. I'm trying to like feed us and this child and whatever, and I don't know, like, bringing a child. I think also it's, for us, we see it as, oh, bringing a child into the rebellion, but, like, the rebellion is not a thing in people's minds yet. I think for him, like, he has been a soldier in the Clone Wars all this time, and so his thought of, like, we have been soldiers and we need to be something else because that's not what a child should have to be. He sees that as bringing the child into a war that's continuing, and he's like, no, we can't do that, even though it's very different to join the rebellion. I think he sees that as just like continuing to be a soldier, and now that he has Omega, he's like, I can't do that, and he sees it very differently. And Rex made that very clear. Rex was like, the war, it's still happening, the Republic still exists in my eyes, whatever, and there's that difference in idea. And I think Echo might be that bridge between them of like, hey,
No, I agree. I think definitely thinking about it, the other thing too is considering the differences between Echo and the rest of the Bad Batch. And it's like the Batch was raised different. They are like built different. But Echo has been, for all intents and purposes, a soldier his entire life, and then he had a very horrible moment for about 2 years, and then he came back and was like, I guess I'm something else now. So I do think the idea of Echo being like, I don't like not knowing what we're doing, because his whole thing is he knows a lot of stuff, and it's like he went from being like, we're fighting the war for the Republic, to I am actively giving information to the Separatists and that's my position, to now being like, what are we actually doing? So I can see Echo kind of getting that cognitive dissonance of being like, I am a soldier with no objective, and that stressing him out, whereas the rest of the Batch has been doing the quote-unquote odd jobs of the Republic during the Clone Wars.
Hey, I know this is kind of random, but the person who's been assigning them those odd jobs was Cody.
Cody, my beloved.
Where is he?
I'm gonna cry. Why did you bring up Cody?
I'm sorry.
They were like, oh, there's gonna be somebody special in this episode, and then it was like Cad Bane, and I was like, but where's Cody?
They got the wrong goddamn cowboy. All of us gay bitches have been talking about goddamn Eli Vanto, and they were like, blue person, cowboy, Cad Bane. That's who they want.
The fact, too, that they pulled Cad Bane of all people, like, I know there were arcs talking about Cad Bane, like, again, like the unfinished Boba Fett Cad Bane moment. So it's not totally a shock that Cad Bane made a reappearance, but it was just not someone I was at all expecting when they were like, oh, someone's showing up. I was like, oh, it's gonna be someone we actually care about. So sorry to all of the Cad Bane stands out there. I appreciate him as a villain, but he's just not who I was expecting.
I will say this. It very much solidifies the Rey Palpatine is stored in the Grogu, is stored in the Omega, is stored in the Cad Bane stealing children Clone Wars plotline. Yes. Like, of all the people to bring back, you bring back Cad Bane, it means something. Especially because Dave is very much, every single time, he's like, you better have watched every single one of these motherfucking episodes, even the annoying ones with Zero, because they all mean something. And to me, this was that big flag. It was like, it's all coming together.
No,
it's all...
Literally. I mean, I was not even thinking about it, like, at the time, but Klaudia, I think you were the one who brought it up, and you just brought it up now, but, like, Palpatine or Dooku, I think one of them, one of the Sith, was the one who hired Cad Bane to go get the Force-sensitive kids.
It was Palpatine.
It was Palpatine. Epic. That seems very, seems like a very dangerous thing to do. Like, he's like, hey, it's the Chancellor, but I'm using a Swedish bank account to hire you to go get children.
No, he did it as Sidious. It just seems...
wasn't Palpatine. It's very, very Slim Shady moment.
I mean, he did that with the fucking Separatists. Like, people are clearly falling for this bullshit.
I'm so sorry. The fact, too, now I'm just thinking about that, but the fact that he has an extremely distinct face and no one was like, hey, what's up with...
Because he had a cloak on... And he had his face down in every holo call, and they were like, oh, I don't know who it is.
It's just like in the fucking MCU when a person has just like a baseball cap on, and they're like, who could this be?
It's not only like the cloak, too. He, like, didn't have his big, puffy, like, shoulder, like suit, like...
He didn't look like an extra douchebag, so they couldn't figure out it was him.
I would like to talk about the last moment. POV, you were just shot by Cad Bane. That was an epic piece of filmmaking, which a great on the team for that decision. We were discussing how this is the second moment, and I'm sure there are other ones, but this is the second one that jumped out to me. The first one was in the Bad Batch arc of the Clone Wars, where I was like, whoa, this suddenly feels like a video game. Not in a bad way, in a wow, this is a very immersive way. And I'm sure that either that's on purpose or that's because of the kind of people who work on the show or whatever. There's a moment in the Bad Batch arc of the Clone Wars, which I also rewatched recently, when they break in to the Separatist place with Anakin, and Crosshair is, like, on the screen, but he's, like, right next to where the camera is, so it's kind of, like, first-person shootery, and then you look around, it looks very cutscene-ish, and you're like, whoa, suddenly this is a video game, and Wrecker's standing there, like, cheering, whatever, and then this moment was the same. I don't know, I just thought that was very cool. I don't know what that, like, means for film or anything, but I really liked it.
Literally Republic Commando moment for the Bad Batch. Like, my friend and I immediately, like, were like, oh my god, Republic Commando, when we watched the episode, and we pulled up, like, screenshots of Republic Commando, because they quite literally had, like, the little, like, loading circle in the top, just how it was formatted, so they probably, maybe some of the animators had worked on Republic Commando before, or they, like, got assets from Republic Commando, or just stylized it to look like Republic Commando.
I also really liked seeing what his heads-up display looks like, because that's something that I'm always confused by whenever there's any sort of, like, technical element. Like, I always think about, like, whenever a Mandalorian lowers their little viewfinder, I'm like, what is going on there? Like, how does that work? And this gave me a very interesting insight into, like, oh, what are they actually seeing?
Being able to see what they're seeing through their little helmets like just proved to me. I was like, wow, they really do not have any like periphery vision on those fucking helmets. That's why they're always bumping into things.
Two things. One, I'm not a gamer. The only thing I've played is Property Brothers mobile app game. Anyways, so I don't have that frame of reference. What I have the frame of reference is of Rebels, and I just because I recently watched the season 4 premiere, where I think it's you see Fen Rao's perspective very briefly, and it has like the little Mandoa up like scrolling in the front, and I was like, oh, this is very nice, very sweet. But in that POV, when we're like in Hunter's point of view, as he's like, oh fuck, I've been shot and the baby's gone, fuck me. um there's a moment I saw, it was pointed out to me in a TikTok. I wish I knew what it was. I just saw it on my For You page. You see Wrecker for a barely a millisecond, but he's holding Omega's bow. So he took the bow with him. And it just
That's good, because I was
me.
worried. I was worried that Cad Bane's bitch ass took it.
A lot of people pointed out also, does Omega think that he's dead?
Someone in my comments pointed out that, because I said, don't tell me that Omega thinks Hunter's dead, because I don't want to hear your bitch ass to say that. But someone pointed out, like, she, you know, little RN moment for Omega with Nala would obviously know how to, like, check someone's pulse, and it, like, she checked the pulse of that little lizard dragon thing on episode, what episode was that? Episode 3?
I think it was episode 3, yes. Because
Yeah.
Cut and Run was episode 2. Yeah, that was episode 3.
Yeah. So she probably, like, checked Hunter's pulse at that moment when he was, like, knocked out before she had to scramble to try and shoot Cad Bane, but was not able to shoot Cad Bane. So I don't think she thinks Hunter is dead, but she definitely is probably distressed that she has now been separated from her dad.
so much like one Commander Cody, you could say no, Omega knows that her person is not dead. Would you like to do Cody watch?
Yeah, I guess I'll go with the Cody watch. Cody wasn't there. The physical pain I have when I have to say Cody wasn't there every week. Final thoughts on the episode to go back.
The fact that Cody wasn't there, I really did think, like, maybe there was a chance that he was gonna be there. I know he's gonna be there. He's gotta be there.
My fucking big fear this goddamn episode was Crosshair was gonna be like, you know, CC, I forgot Cody's number. Like,
2224.
Yeah, 2224. Do you copy?
No!
And I was gonna be like, sir, you can't just say that. But then
actually-
he never did. So
Powerful.
I saw Crosshair did have an epic head trauma moment at one point.
Crosshair
and I was like,
epic
oh?
trauma moments. Stop. It would not surprise me if he had some additional specifically head trauma. Yeah, that was a lot. That episode, I will say, I really liked it. I think it's... I always have trouble with the more lore-heavy episodes and being like, do I like this episode or did a lot just happen? And I'm kind of still figuring it out with this one, because I think it's definitely one of the better ones, but it was a lot, and I am still processing.
for me personally, I think it's been my favorite episode thus far. I think visually it was very stunning. And then also I just enjoy a good vibe check. So Crosshair really getting Kentucky Fried Crosshaired was very good to me.
I just realized that this episode is the exact same episode as the tragedy of the Mandalorian.
Okay,
It's how animated Boba can still win.
I swear to God, the way if we saw fucking Woba Fett in the Bad Batch, no, that is my limit. That is my limit.
About Woba Fett.
After
Oh, God.
Wayne, I don't know if I can do that again.
Wayne and Woba Fett, bestie,
I just want to see like someone's like take Cad Bane out, and also I like the theory of the dent in Boba's helmet being caused by Cad Bane.
By Cad Bane, that is iconic.
It would also be very cool of them to be like, obviously they know Django's like prowess as a bounty hunter. That's the whole reason he was picked, and them ending up like their contingency plan. They're like, okay, I guess we have to hire the best in the business, and who would that be? Well, Boba's still a little young, but them hiring Jango's son, who is one of the clones that they created, it would just be very interesting. I don't know if it would happen, but it would be interesting.
Me coming, like, dumb thought that this would never happen. Just, they're like, oh yeah, we hire, Jango's son, who's also, like, a clone that's a special boy clone. We bring him back too. We use him for the fucking clone project that we're working on. It's just a trap to lure Boba back.
This is a pyramid scheme.
I never gave my thoughts on the episode. I just realized I was just talking about Boba Fett.
As you should.
I like the episode a lot. I also think it's my favorite episode so far. Because of epic crispy Crosshair moment.
Not Kentucky
Sorry,
Fried
Crosshair stands. And yeah, because of Republic Commando.
Happy mid-season, by the way, everyone. There are only 8 episodes left, so got a lot of ground to cover.
Hey there, it's Mel. As you probably know, this month at Roop Helps Pod Race, we want to show our support and encourage yours to LGBT causes near and dear to us. This week, we'd like to highlight the Black Trans Travel Fund. The Black Trans Travel Fund is a grassroots Black trans-led collective providing Black transgender women with financial and material resources needed to remove barriers to self-determining and accessing safer travel options. Check the show notes for the link to their donation page. Happy Pride and may the Force be with you.
Da 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 da. It's time again for Is It Legends or Did I Just Make It Up? This time I'm hosting the segment, and I have prepared some facts for you all. For our listeners, this segment is bringing up some facts, and the other hosts have to figure out if it's from Legends or if I just made it up. My first thing today. In Legends, the Gehutun was a group of 100 bounty hunters Jango Fett brought to Kamino to train the clones for the Galactic Republic. Is it Legends or did I just make it up?
I'm gonna say Legends. That sounds real.
Can you read those names again?
Yeah, sorry. I wrote down how to pronounce it too. Gehutun.
See, this is interesting because part of me is like, no, this is definitely Legends. But then another part of me is like, I did something similar in terms of like bringing up a random Mandalorian word to be like, ooh, got your ass. So are you playing 3D chess or are you just being sincere?
I'll say I think Jess made it up.
I think Jess made it up.
I did just make it up.
God damn it.
Period.
The actual word was the... Why did I not write down the pronunciation of this one? I hate myself. The Koivaldar.
Interesting.
Oh, so it's a real thing? You just
Yeah, it's a real thing. It's just I changed the word. The word I chose, because I'm butchering the actual word, means those who no longer exist, and the word I chose meant bandit, villain, petty thief.
Oh, shit.
That's powerful.
It kind of was real, but I pulled a Mel moment there.
So Jess has also entered their Hannibal era. I love that.
Okay.
I don't like any of the hosts of this show being in their Hannibal era. It doesn't bode well for all of the other hosts.
Yeah, it means that everyone else is Will Graham, and that isn't good because you've got encephalitis, bestie.
The second one. In Legends, there was an Imperial officer who defected and became a pilot, an officer for the Alliance of Free Planets, which was a provisional government formed from the Rebel Alliance, like a week after the Battle of Endor, and her name was Maggie. Is it Legends, or did I just make it up?
Again, I'm gonna say that's Legends. I'm gonna say that's real.
I think that this is Legends. I think it's just a Star Wars name thing where they're like, we got to go balls to the wall for some of them, and then other ones, fucking Maggie.
Because Maggie seems like something that Jess would make up, but it also seems like something that very well could be Legends. I'll say Legends again.
It is in fact Legends.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Wait,
That
so
made me feel insane when I like found that random wiki page for Maggie, and I was like, now what the fuck is this?
Is it spelled weird, or is it just
No,
spelled like
it's
Maggie?
just literally Maggie. Maggie.
is it short for like Margaret or
No, it just said Maggie. She didn't even have a last name.
not even a lot? Damn.
Like Ray, Maggie Skywalker.
Maggie Skywalker.
Maggie
Period.
Skywalker. Doing good so far. In Legends, Dreadmasters were a group of 6 powerful human Sith lords who served the Sith Emperor. After their emperor was defeated, though, they went on to form their own empire led by their Dread Council. But when one of their members were slain, the remainder of them relocated to their Dread Fortress, and they were later defeated in 3638 BBY. Is it Legends, or did I just make that all up?
This is stupid enough that this has to be real.
I feel like every time I'm like, okay, I'm pretty solid. You keep talking. And I'm like, oh, there's more. And I'm like, how deep would Jess go to fool us?
Yeah, I because I think you're in your Hannibal era. I think you made this up.
I'll say I think it's Legends.
Okay, so everyone's clocked in. It's Legends.
Fuck.
B?
I think
Here it is.
for the first time ever in this game, I'm not in last, so.
It's like Wampa Vader.
I
got
got
Wampa Vader 2.
I left this out, but they also had like some followers that were like kind of hypnotized like people, from my understanding, that were called Dread Hosts, and they had like their Dread
terms.
droids also or something like that. So I was
What
just
in
like,
the
how did
Stephanie
he
Meyer is
fucking
this?
go?
This is certainly filling me with dread.
Honestly, I think that one's pretty bad. I'm happy that one's Legends.
Yeah. In Legends, there's a type of lightsaber crystal called a Dantari crystal, or a Dantooine crystal, that came from the eggs of Dantooine Kinrath, which are like fucked up little spider creatures. Is it Legends, or did I just make that up?
Again, I'm gonna say that's real.
I'm gonna
This is
say
like-
that's also real.
That's like Charlotte's Web if Charlotte, like, birthed a crystal. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Because everyone else said it was real, and I'm one ahead right now, I believe. So I will say that Jess made it up.
It's Legends. I got your ass all.
Fuck!
Got their ass. Fuck yeah.
Damn
And
it!
now you're all tied.
Yeah.
This is the tiebreaker.
Yeah. In Legends, Jedi dueling boots were boots used by individuals. Don't laugh, okay? Stop.
It just reminded me of Jeb's debate in Boots.
The idea of fucking Jeb Bush with a fucking lightsaber is haunting.
Jeb's aggressive negotiations.
Somebody's
Please
gonna draw
clap.
that now.
Please clap with a lightsaber.
Jedi dueling boots were boots used by individuals affiliated with or part of the Jedi Order during the Cold War between the Sith Empire and the Galactic Republic. And Jedi dueling boots were first introduced in the game SOTOR, or Star Wars The Old Republic. Is that Legends, or did I just make it up?
I want to say this is real, but they can't all be real. Okay, I'm gonna say Jess made it up.
I have to think, because this is so much. I hope it's real. The idea of specific boots for dueling is very funny. It's like, oh, hold on, we can't fight yet. Let me get my boots.
These boots were made for dueling.
You gotta remember, this is also from a video game.
Yeah, that's
They
exactly.
got like stuff like that.
I will say that it's Legends. 'Cause I
I
want it to be real.
I think Jess made it up.
I did make it up.
Got
Yes!
it. Got it.
Fuck! I've fallen behind again.
But I did actually take it from Sith dueling boots, which do exist in the game
Are you
Star Wars The
fucking
Old
kidding
Republic.
me?
Period.
Except I made it about the Jedi.
The idea that like Count Dooku has dueling boots makes a lot of sense, actually.
But this was during the Old Republic, so I don't know if the Sith kept them. Like if Palpatine was like, yeah, let's have our fucking dueling boots.
The
crack.
idea of fucking Palpatine taking Maul to a fucking Goodwill and being like, all right, we gotta toss these out, bestie.
Wait, Garth Maul! Garth Maul is real!
The idea of Palpatine taking you on as your apprentice, or taking you on as his apprentice, and then he's like, okay, what size shoe are you? And you're filling out the form to become his apprentice, and you're like, what size shoe are you? And you're like, oh, I'm an 8.5. He's like, ugh, the Sith dueling boots are a 10, so I don't know if that's gonna work.
No short kings allowed.
They're
amongst
like
the
bowling
Sith.
shoes.
Well, Dooku's freaking 6'5", so he's like, I guess those must be pretty big dueling boots. And then Anakin had to, that's why he needed to make Darth Vader so big so he'd fit in the Sith dueling boots.
I can't with that.
With that.
No.
That's great. So, I guess Klaudia and Mel both tied.
Ew.
Don't you have one more?
Oh yeah, sorry. I have one more. Is it Legends, or did I just make it up? In Legends, 3/5 of the podcast and the podcast itself have been blocked by Gina Carano.
I will say that one, I think Jess made that one up.
I think it's true. I think over the bathroom break, over the epic piss break, we found that information out.
I think Klaudia, what do you think?
I'm gonna say that Jess, I'm gonna say that part of it is true, but Jess messed up the numbers.
It wasn't Legends, it's actually canon.
It is canon that me, Ollie, Klaudia, and Mel have been blocked by Gina Carano on Twitter, as has our podcast, which has only our podcast account, which has only existed for about a month. So, or a little over a month, 2 months.
I don't think we've ever even tweeted about her. So
no, we definitely haven't.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Yeah, happy Pride.
So we just wanted to inform everyone of that. We do actually have a new segment this week.
Sorry, Noah.
Sorry, Noah. We are introducing a new segment. And that segment is called Kriff, Naboo Honeymoon, and Decapitate. It is very similar to the Earth game called Fuck, Marry, Kill, but it's with fun Star Wars words. So all of our hosts have prepared 3 characters from Star Wars, and then we will have to go around and say which one we would Kriff, which one we would go on a Naboo honeymoon with, and which one we would decapitate a la Jango Fett. Do you guys want me to start?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so mine I think will be very fun. Mine is Aura Singh, Hondo Onaka, and Bosk.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, give me a second.
Okay, I already have mine. I'm ready to go.
Okay.
I'm shooting from the hip. I'm fucking killing Aura Singh. Sorry, bestie. I may be. I think I'm the only lesbian on this podcast. No, actually, suddenly I'm goodbye. I guess I'm marrying Bosk.
He, him, lesbian Bosk?
Yeah, I don't want to be married to Hondo is the thing.
No, I'm exactly the same.
I suppose I do have to fuck Hondo.
I love Hondo Onaka. I would not want to marry him. He seems like he would be the worst partner. But Bosk is a dad. Bosk is a single dad to Boba Fett, and I think that I could make him not have to be a single dad anymore.
Okay. I agree. Aura Singh, decapitate. No, girl. I'm gonna disagree with you guys. I think Naboo honeymoon Hondo Onaka only because I think he's just a fun time. Like he's clearly just like he has that much fun with his enemies. Can you imagine how much he is with people he actually trusts? Like I'm sure it would be just a wild adventure. It might get exhausting, but I think it'd be a wild adventure, which would mean I would have to Kriff Bosk. Don't know what that's about.
So much to unpack there. Jess?
I basically have the same alignment as Mel, where, yeah, goodbye, Aura Singh. I've sent you to not the Chiss Ascendancy. I've sent you to hell.
The building.
I'm just realizing that literally my indicator for this one is how nice were they to Boba Fett. Because Aura Singh was not nice to Boba Fett. Hondo is neutral to Boba Fett, and Bosk is his dad. So I'm like, marry Bosk, Hondo, we can Kriff, I guess, if that's what has to happen. Aura Singh, just call you Jango Fett, because I will decapitate you.
Griffin, Hondo, and I'm marrying Bosk. I'm Bubba's new adopted parent.
Okay. The one I have prepared is one specifically to make things difficult for the people in this room. So the three people that I have are Zeb, Eli Vanto, and Cody.
How dare you?
Wait, the fact that I'm gonna have to decapitate one of them is no good.
I have my choice.
I made my choice too.
I can shoot from the hip.
I don't even know what I would pick.
I'd like to go first. Okay, first off, I do have to apologize to someone in this podcast right now.
The way I know you guys are both gonna have the same answer, and I know it's not gonna end well for Zeb.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Ollie, resident Zebkin. But, no, Zeb is getting decapitated. I'm so sorry, Zeb. It's nothing against Zeb. It's just, I'm not callous. And, so I am not attracted to Zeb in that way. So, sorry, Zeb, you've been decapitated. You've been Jango-feted. Now, this is hard, because everyone who listens to this podcast should know that I am a friend of Cody. But I also
not a friend of Cody.
Yeah. But I kin Eli Vanto, and I adore Eli Vanto with my whole heart. So
I did this to hurt you people.
Yeah, this really hurts. But I am gonna kriff Cody and marry Eli Vanto. Sorry, Thrawn. Eli Vanto's mine now.
So actually, this is where things kind of get interesting. I'm marrying Eli Vanto. That is the clear choice. Like Jess, I am also an Eli Vanto Kinney. This is where things are going to get difficult because I do think I'm going to kriff Zeb. This is a hot take. I think that I cannot kill him. I cannot pseudo orphan Mara Jade and fucking Revan Callus Aurelios.
He's a father.
He's a father. I cannot do that. I can be a home.
Oh my god, I forgot about them. I'm so sorry, kids. You still have your other dad.
I mean, they're not in the show, so it's like, of course, people are going to forget about them, which is just another problem with representation in like the mainstream. But anyway, that's not the point.
But I think that I'm fine with being a homewrecker. I'm not fine with being a murderer. So sorry, Cody. This is what you get for fucking shooting on Obi-Wan on Utapau. Sorry, bestie.
Not you being the TikTok the TikTok excuse of hating Cody, which is he was mind controlled to shoot Obi-Wan, so he's a bad person.
I can't with that. I just have people I'm related to that look like Tamora Morrison, so I can't do it.
Oh, no.
I cannot do it.
Yeah, that's valid. You're valid.
Here's my problem. As the resident Zeb Kinney, this might surprise some of you. I think Zeb is very handsome, but I don't really think I'm very like into him. So that's where my problem is that I don't.
Wait, are you gonna kill Zeb?
I don't. So that's the thing. I don't think so because I could not bear it. I think like I don't particularly want to marry or I don't want to go on a Naboo honeymoon or kriff him. But I physically don't think I would be able to.
He has to stay alive one way or another.
Exactly.
Not fuck or die, Zeb.
The problem is that I don't want to be with Zeb. I want to be him. He is my gender goal. So that is my thing.
Oh, so you're gonna Highlander him. There can only be one.
No.
Become him.
I'm going to become Mara Jade and Revan's new parent. I hate to say this. So I love every single person that you have put. I feel like this one was specifically made to hurt me.
Maybe it was. Well, also Jess.
Okay. I feel like I have already come to terms with the fact that Cody is dead. Like, I don't think he's dead, but I wouldn't want to kill Cody mid-Clone Wars, but if it was like right now where the Bad Batch is in the timeline, I have a feeling that he is not doing super hot. So I'm like, I kind of have to kill him, but here's my other thing. The fact that my first instinct was to kill Eli Vanto. I'm not going to, but that was my first instinct. I think that Zeb would be a good husband, so I think I'm gonna marry Zeb. I'm gonna Naboo honeymoon with Zeb. I'm gonna kriff Eli Vanto, and I'm going to like his his DNA donor, I am going to have to decapitate Cody.
I hate this. Cody, my beloved, I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. I also didn't think this through when I did it. I was just like, huh. The problem with this is that all three of them, I think, are husband material. See, this is the problem. I could make an argument for almost all of these in any configuration.
What's your gut instinct?
Okay. My gut instinct is Cody has been husband material for Obi-Wan the whole time. So I'm going to say Naboo, Honeymoon, Cody. I'm going to say Kriff, Eli Vanto, even though it could really be either way. And I'm sorry, Zeb. I'm so sorry.
My Zeb Black Series action figure is currently staring at me from my shelf, and he wanted me to tell you that he's disappointed in all of you.
I'm not a furry. I'm not a furry, but...
I'm not a furry either. I'm just more comfortable with being a homewrecker and not a murderer.
Who wants to go next?
Welcome to Fuck, Marry, Kill Mandalorian edition.
Wait, what is the actual... You've called the game the wrong thing.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Hi, Mel Lordrop. I fucking hate Star Wars curses more than anything in the world. So saying Kriff, I hate it. So Kriff, Naboo, Honeymoon, decapitate. Axe Woves, Fen Rao, Ulrich Wren.
Jesus, all men again?
This is actually a very easy answer for me. Obviously I'm marrying Fen Rao, right? I think that is the correct answer. This is where it starts to get hard, but like I feel like I'm gonna have to Kriff, Ulrich Wren, and kill Axe Woves. I unfortunately do think Axe Woves is very funny, and I do like him a lot just because he has like no screen time and no lines, like barely any lines. It's like I can project whatever personality onto him I want, and that's very powerful. But if I had to choose between him and any of the other two people here, the answer is clear.
This is so difficult considering we know jack shit about half of them.
Okay, so let me make myself clear here. One, the great thing about Axe Woves is that Bo-Katan and Casca left him in the bathroom while they had their girl boss moment in the Mandalorian season 2 finale. So like truly, like Ollie said, he could be anyone. He could be anything. Fen Rao, Fen Rao. Period. And then Ulrich Wren, who is a dad.
Male
That's
wife.
it. Male wife. Actually, all of these men are male wives, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
I agree.
Welcome to my saw trap.
Okay.
More like your axe trap.
Okay, I'm going with decapitate axe. I'm so sorry, bestie. Naboo, Honeymoon, Fen Rao, and Kriff, Ulrich Wren. But those two could get switched. So they're both kind of the male wives of Mandalore. So male wives of Mandalore, my new favorite.
That's what they're gonna replace the show that they were gonna do about the New Republic. It's the Male Wives of Mandalore, and it's Fen Rao, Axe Woves, and Ulrich Wren.
And Din Djarin can be there too. He's
the leader.
Yeah.
He's like they're
I
like,
can't with this.
It's like Charlie's Angels, but it's Din is Charlie.
So for this, I think that I'm sorry, Axe, you're getting decapitated, just because I don't know much about you, so it's easy for me to be like, yeah, kill the spare. Kill them. Oh, I'm gonna Kriff Fen Rao, and I'm gonna marry Ulrich Wren. Sorry, Sabine, I'm being a homewrecker, but just male wife energy. I feel like he'd be a good husband, and we can talk about art also, because he does seem like a big art man too. Kriff, Naboo, Honeymoon, decapitate options. Welcome to the Chiss Ascendancy.
Yeah.
So, my options, I was struggling for the third one because I wanted to put a person, but I'm thinking, I was like, wait, no, Klaudia hasn't, I was gonna start reading the Ascendancy book, so she wouldn't really know who this one character is.
Samacro?
It's not Samacro. Unlike you all this game, I have decided to to talk about women. Let's talk about women today.
Thank you so much.
I had Aura Singh.
Okay, that...
We all chose to kill her.
We
Was the correct answer.
Wait, we collectively fridged Aura Singh.
Honestly,
has really left the building.
no, I feel like it's feminism in saying that not all women are good.
Period. She never had her redemption arc, and for that I can respect her.
My 3 options are Karen Farrow, Aralani, and Vanya.
Ooh.
This
Oh,
is so
shoot from the
mean.
hip. I got it.
All
I
right.
got it.
I think
was
I
gonna,
have it as well.
I was debating between putting Farrow and Wootro, but I was like, Klaudia doesn't know who Wootro is.
I'm so
Wootro, my
sorry.
beloved.
But yeah, those are your options.
Mel, do you want to go first?
Yeah. To be honest, it would have been way harder if you had put Wootro, because I do love her. I'm sorry, Karen. You're fucking dying. Sorry, Queen. Goodbye. You've been sent to the Chiss Ascendancy in the sky. Anyways. I am Naboo honeymooning with or secret Naboo honeymoon, whatever the fuck we called it, with Vanya. She's got marriage material. She's very sweet. I think
This
age-wise.
is a surprise.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think just it makes sense. It just makes sense. Aralani, hell yeah. Hey, MILF. Hey, Queen. I love you. That is all.
See, okay, Arlani is very intimidating. And unlike Thrawn, she is not a punk ass bitch. So Vanya, this is so hard.
Just say it. Get it out. Rip it off like a Band-Aid.
Yeah, rip it off like a
I
Band-Aid.
guess decapitate Vanya. No. Karen Farrow, Kriff, and Naboo honeymoon Arlani because like she's stable. She's got a job. I get into a Chiss family house. Like,
Oh, you wouldn't though.
No,
You
but
wouldn't,
she's
though.
not.
Oh, sorry. I haven't read the Ascendancy books yet, but she is a high-ranking CDF officer.
Yeah,
so, like,
she is by blood in Arizi, so
Yeah, epic Arlani by blood Arizi moment.
I'm having a very similar problem to Klaudia in the fact that I love Karen Farrow so much, and in the Karen Farrow who lives in my heart is no longer under Thrawn's command and is like, actually the Empire sucks, and then leaves the Empire, but that is not currently canon. So I have to take into account the fact that she does work for the Empire and does know that Harris Syndulla was being held prisoner and didn't do anything about it. So unfortunately for that, Karen, I am gonna have to decapitate you, and I don't want to. Here's where I really get a problem, because I love both Vanya and Aralani, but for similar reasons to Mel, I think Vanya and I have more long-term potential because we are closer in age than me and Aralani. Not that I've ever been bothered by the idea of a MILF, but I just long-term, I don't know what Aralani and I would even talk about, honestly. I feel like Vanya and I would have more in common. So I'm in a Naboo honeymoon with Vanya and Kriff Aralani.
Hey y'all, Mel just popping in to say that Jess never got a chance to say their placements for the Chiss Ascendancy edition of Kriff Naboo Honeymoon Decapitate, and theirs goes as follows. They would Kriff Farrow, Naboo Honeymoon Vanya, and unfortunately decapitate Aralani.
That segment really was a lot.
My heart is like pounding from like the fucking Zeb one.
Apologies. Yeah, I'm so sorry for that. But also apologies to our listeners who are not deep in the shits of the Chiss Ascendancy. Read the Thrawn books. You should start with the canon Thrawn trilogy. The first book is just called Thrawn. The second book is called Thrawn Alliances. The third one's called Thrawn Treason. Then you can read the Ascendancy trilogy, and then you can get into some Legends business. Come on this journey with us. This is a myth level marketing scheme. Anyways, so sorry that we just spent a lot of time on characters who have never showed up in a TV show or a movie ever.
We can always hope that one day they will.
Yes.
Mama, I don't want them to because I'm scared of what they're gonna do to them in live action.
No.
Or maybe more comics would be cool.
That would be cool. So let's go ahead. We have one more segment for you all today, and that is one that we like to call Name That Ship. So what that segment entails is one of our hosts will find a fan fiction and read the tags, the title, the rating, and the summary to the other hosts, and they will be able to guess yes or no questions to try to figure out what the ship is. So this fic was sent to me by a listener by the name of Mac2 Reality. It's MACKTO Reality on TikTok. And they sent me a DM with this fan fiction. It is called Say Anything to Me. The tags are character A/character B, character A, character B, Princess Diaries AU, suitless character B, bottom character A, top character A, and fingering. The summary is character A didn't think this was the way his life was going to go. He would have never guessed this in a million years. Finding out he was the prince of a small country, being trained to take over the throne, having to be married to do so, falling in love.
So I do think Anakin/Vader is one of the characters.
Yes.
No!
No, you got it.
Wait.
That's
Because
it.
of-
It's Anakin/Vader.
Wait.
What? Is it?
Character.
Huh?
It's also tagged as self-cessed, which I didn't read because it would give it away.
Wait.
Wait. I feel insane, besties. Excuse me?
How did we get it in one try?
Because I was just like, it's gotta be about, like, yeah, Anakin, Darth Vader moment if it's suitless. It's just
Yeah, no, it's
self-obsessed.
What?
yeah,
What's all this
Why are you
then?
doing this to
and
me?
it is a Princess Diaries AU.
That doesn't make any sense. I feel
How many
insane.
hits and how many kudos does this have?
It currently has 39 kudos, and
Okay.
it only has like 300, a little more than 300 hits.
Hey, bestie. What the fuck?
Yeah, that was just a fun, short and sweet one. Because
I'm
hosts are.
Sorry I fucking one-shotted you.
I was
Call me fucking Cad Bane.
No, not your Cad Bane to my Hunter. I hate it here.
Period. Bucko. I feel like he says Bucko.
I feel like if Cad Bane walked up to Hunter and said, Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader, self-cessed, Hunter would also probably have had the same effect of being shot. That's how I felt reading it, at least.
I feel. Wow. Mine. Wow. I don't know if mine can live up to that.
Hopefully we won't guess it in one.
Holy shit. So, this is rated teen and up audiences. It's called On the Correct Application of the Scientific Method.
What in the goddamn?
Okay. This was also sent to me by a listener. I can't remember who, because it was sent to me a while ago. The tags are alternate universe arranged marriage, alternate universe canon divergence, humor, bad flirting, truly the worst flirting, academic character A, utter nerd character A. Here's the summary and notes, because I think they put the summary in the notes. Character B is going to make himself a widower in short order. That's the summary. The notes are, for the prompt, for some reasons, insert furious hand waving, character B was married off to character A to cement an alliance with the... Should I tell you what planet this is?
Yes.
Alright, it'll be a little bit of a hint. To cement an alliance with the Mandalorians. Maul is pissed off, but can't... Oh,
Oh no, Maul is involved. Uh-oh, besties.
Well, keep reading. We can guess the other person.
Oh shit, I'm so sorry. Maul is pissed off but can't afford to be sent back, so he's just silent and glowering. This is torture for character A, who has so many questions, all caps, about the Force and can't get a word out of Maul. Character A learns to echolocate facts about the Force by confidently saying things and measuring how wrong they are by how much Maul grinds his teeth. Maybe he'll hit upon the thing that will make his new husband finally open his mouth and correct him.
Okay, so it is a man.
Yes,
So
it is a man.
And a
Yes.
Mandalorian.
Yes.
Is it Corky?
No.
Oh, thank God.
I think I know who it is.
Is it Fen Rao?
No.
Is it Pre Vista?
No.
Fuck.
Is it Gar Saxon?
No.
Wait, it is another man. Is it Allred Wren?
No.
Is it Tristan Wren?
No.
Thank God. Oh
We've
my
run
God.
out of Mandalorian men. Is it Din Djarin?
No.
It is a Mandalorian man.
Jango Fett?
No.
Is it Boba?
You're getting warmer.
Is it a clone?
No.
Axe? Whoa.
I feel like if I give you this hint, you're gonna get it
No. I
immediately.
don't want a hint yet. We're
Because
still...
I'm so sorry I spilled the beans on Maul.
Is it Pax Vizsla?
No.
Wait, okay. Let me before we just start
You guys want
listing
to 20
names.
questions it?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Is this a character who's age appropriate for Maul?
Yes.
Okay. Is this character in the prequels?
No.
Are they in the Clone Wars?
No.
Are they in Rebels?
No.
What Mandalorian exists outside of fucking
Is it a Legends character?
Yes.
Jaster Muriel?
What? Jaster!
Jaster, girl, run!
Maybe I'm stupid. How old is Jaster Muriel?
I thought Jaster Muriel was old as fuck.
Yeah.
He's
Actually-
Django's dad.
Maybe
Wait,
he's the cradle robber.
So this is this Jaster Muriel getting like arranged marriage to Maul?
Yes.
Wow, so those were some ships, some fics. Anyway, we wanted to take a moment to shout out Sheriel on Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram,
And that
Artist
is,
Stereo.
That is spelled CHERRIIELLE.
Yeah, Ella Sheriel. I'm gonna treat it like your last name. We're shouting you out because you drew that amazing Rexaw art that we posted on all our socials, which was beautiful, but also I'm shouting you out specifically because of your beautiful Eli Vanto and Thrawn art. Thank you.
Yeah, it was very exciting because to get into the back behind the scenes a little, she did message us and say, "I saw you followed us and your name made me laugh, so I started listening." Which is very funny, the fact that someone saw Roop helps pod race. I gotta figure out what's going on with this. But yeah.
The Rexaw agenda continues. I'm here to preach the good word.
We enter week 2 of the Rexaw Renaissance. There's also a new fic in the Rexaw tag, which was written by a listener for our podcast. So shout out to you as well, Minnie the Moocher DA on AO3. I've read your fics before, and I was so excited when I saw you wrote one for Rexaw.
Thank you so much for joining us this week for Roop Helps Pod Race. Episodes usually drop Sundays, and for updates, Star Wars news, and more Chris shit, follow us on social media at Roop Helps Pod Race on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And if you enjoy our show, consider leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts. It helps us out a lot. We'll see you next week for another episode. May the Force be with you, and don't kriff it up.
Waka waka.
Waka waka.
Waka waka.